Hello, this is Carsten Reisinger with more information about how you can increase the quality of your photos. Before you start using the tips that I will be talking about in a minute, you have to read and understand your camera's manual. When I explain to change a certain setting on your camera, you need to know how to do so. Otherwise, some of my tips won't help you. I also have to emphasize that I will only mention what to look out for when you take your images to get better results. This is no in-depth tutorial. The majority of stock images are taken with the camera mounted onto a tripod or monopod. This is very helpful in many ways. First, you eliminate most of the camera shake compared to holding the camera with your hands. That will help you to get sharper images right off the bat. Other advantages of a tripod are that you can use longer exposure times without blurring the images, compose your image nicely without getting your arms tired, and to focus your subject correctly to get a nice sharp picture. To learn more about tripods or monopods, simply Google for tutorials on the web. I couldn't possibly give an explanation of every tripod or monopod there is for every type of photography, so search for your area of interest, like landscape or studio, to find the appropriate tutorials and reviews. One thing I forgot is to keep your equipment clean and in good working condition. There is nothing more annoying to go out shooting just to find out that you collected some dust on your sensor that ruins every single photo you take. Before you shoot, make sure your sensor is clean, as well as the body of your camera. It can happen that when you change lenses, that dust which is sitting on the camera body might fall inside the camera and could cause problems later in the shoot. Also, clean your lenses properly before shooting. A common rejection reason at stock agencies is for noise or artifacts. This problem occurs mostly when you're shooting in poor lighting conditions. Photography is about catching the light, so you want to have plenty of it. The more you can control the light, the better your image can turn out. To improve image quality, like reducing noise, you must shoot at the lowest possible ISO setting of your camera. The lower your ISO setting, the more light you will need to get a properly exposed image. Google for ISO or go to Wikipedia to learn what ISO is and how it works. So if your camera's lowest ISO setting is 100, then try to use that. Some cameras allow lower ISO settings and some Nikon models start at ISO 200. In general, try to avoid to go over ISO 400. The next thing to look out for is white balance. White balance is very tricky to fix if you take your images in JPEG or TIFF format. If you set your camera to record the images as RAW or NEF for Nikon users, you can easily fix an incorrect white balance with the RAW importing software that comes with your camera. Again, Google for white balance to understand it. In order to get the correct white balance, you have to set your white balance settings on your camera according to the lighting type of your environment. If you're shooting outdoors, for example, you can set your camera to sunny, cloudy, overcast, or shadow. Usually, you can also use a custom setting to set your light temperature manually or use a gray card as a reference. Again, please use Google for more information about using gray cards for setting your correct white balance. It is also very important to learn how to read the histogram of your images. It helps you to understand if you're underexposing or overexposing the images. Look up the term how to read a histogram on the internet and you will find lots of useful information. These are the most important aspects to have a good starting point. Some points I talked about may not be clear enough to you right now, but I assure you that you will find all the necessary information online simply by using Google or any of your favorite search engines. Once you get all these aspects covered, you can move on to the post-processing. If you find this video useful, please leave feedback or let me know what you were missing. Good luck!